Good morning, students. So today we start this new our chapter, irrigation methods, right? So in the last lecture we learn about some charts, some types of irrigation methods, right? So today we learn about this surface irrigation methods. So surface irrigation method is divided into this three part. First one is a flooding method, second one is a furrow method, and the third one is a contour method. And flooding method is also divided into this two part, which is first one is a wild flooding, it is also known as uncontrolled flooding, and the second one is a controlled flooding. So in today's session we will learn about this all type of surface irrigation methods, right? So start with this first. All these above methods of surface irrigations are adopted for the perennial irrigation system. The inundation irrigation system adopts only the wild or uncontrolled method of irrigation. So starting with this wild flooding or uncontrolled flooding, wild flooding method is the earliest and primitive methods of the uncontrolled flooding method of irrigation. So in this method, water is applied by spreading it all over the land prior to the application of water. No land preparation is done in the form of leaves or the borders, right? So the water is allowed to flow the natural slope of the land. So there is no control on the flow of water. As the application of water to the land, in this method, water is applied by spreading. Are no leaves to the guide waters, right? So in this matter, water may be applied to the land directly from this natural stream, river during the flood, or in the case of inundation irrigation system. So alternately, the water may be applied to the land from the field channels or water. So the water course, as in the case of this perennial irrigation system. So this irrigation method is suitable for the smooth and fat land for which no preparation of the land is normally required, right? So in such case, somewhat better water application is achieved, right? So moreover, this method of irrigation is well adapted to the lands that have such a irregular surfaces that the origin or this other irrigation methods are impractical. However, this method of irrigation involves a wasteful use of water, and hence it is precised only where the water is available for irrigation in abundance and it is inexpensive, right? So second one is a control flooding, right? So in control flooding method, irrigation water is applied by spreading it over all over the land as on the quantity of water applied. So all the methods of control flooding requires prior preparation of the land. Land is a properly graded and agriculture prior to the land to be irrigated with a proper control on the flow of water, as well as fields are divided into some small units by leaves and field channels are excavated. You see, this there are huge difference between uncontrolled flooding and second controlled flooding, right? So in uncontrolled flooding, there are no land preparation required before this irrigation before the irrigation water required, right? So there are and it is spreaded all over the land improperly while drain, right? So the land is not properly graded in uncontrolled flooding, while in this controlled flooding land is properly graded, and its prior is the land is to be irrigated with a proper control of the flow of water, right? So so for this proper control of flow of water, we have to this divided the land into the small units by the borders and field channels, right? So that we can control this uh, flooding, right? Whenever is flooding. So the various methods of control flooding are, so there are six methods of control flooding, right? First one is a free flooding, second one is contour laterals, third one is a border strips, fourth one is a check basing, fifth one is a basin flooding, and the last one is a zigzag method. So today we will learn about this all control flooding methods, right? So starting with this free flooding. Free flooding methods consist of dividing this entire land to be irrigated into small strips by a number of fill channels or borders known as laterals, right? So, in this first sentence, meaning that the land is properly divided or divided into the small strips, right? So, a number of borders. So, in that irrigation, in that type of irrigation, number of borders are known as laterals. So these laterals or fill channels may be either at right angles to the sides of the fill or at the right angles to the contour line as shown in figure. Right, the figure is shown that when the laterals are aligned at the right places, right angles to the sides of the fill, irrigation possible only to one side of the lateral. However, when the laterals are aligned the right angles to the contour, irrigation can be done on both sides of this lateral. So fill channels receive water from the supply channel and discharge this excess water in the waste channel. So generally this method can be used for flat lands as well as relatively steep lands. So in that manner, the alignment and spacing of laterals generally mainly depending upon this soil permeability of soil and topography of the land. This generally this soil permeability of soil and topography of the land mainly depends, right, because of this alignment and spacing of laterals. If the slopes are steeper, closer spacing of lateral is required, right? Whenever slope is steeper, closer spacing of laterals is required. For whenever this flat and for relatively less pervious soil, spacing of laterals may be increased. So then normally spacing of the laterals may vary from 10 to 50 meter. Second one is our contour lateral. So this is a special case of free flooding in which the fill canals or laterals are aligned approximately along this contour line. So in this method, irrigation is possibly on only on this one side of the laterals, right? So in a free, we see that in free flooding, both sides of laterals possible by this irrigation, right? So in this contour laterals, irrigation is only possible on one side. So this method is applicable for steeper terrain, and the spacing of the contour laterals depends on the slope of the land and type of soil. So this figure show this contour laterals, right? Third one is a border strips. So in the border strip method, the agricultural farm is divided into series of strips, which is a dimension of 10 to 20 meter wide and 100 to 300 meter long, right? So these strips are separated by low leaves or borders. These strips have a uniform slope along the direction of low, but there is no cross slope, right? So therefore when the water is applied at its end, it spread over the entire width as it flows down the slope along the longitudinal direction. So the so it's easy to supply water all over this agricultural farm because of this slope which is provided in the longitudinal direction, right? So this water is spread over the entire width from this naturally, because it's a because we provided slope along the longitudinal direction, so it automatically spread all over this farm. So figure is shown in figure as you show. There are border strips provided, slope set in second, and slope provided. So whenever we apply water here, the water sprayed in the direction of slope in the longitudinal direction, right? So it's sprayed all over this farm. Conditions favorable for the border strip method. So this method is suitable for irrigating all close growing crops except rice, right? So the method is suitable for soils of wide variation in texture. Method is best suited for land having slope less than 0.5. The method is best suited for soils having low to moderate intake rates, right? So by that mean there are four conditions which is in favor of a border strip method. First one is uh, it is useful in all this close growing crops, right, except for the rice. Soils of wide variation textures also suitable with this method. Land having slope less than zero point 0.5, it also in favor of this border strip method. And the last one is whenever we have this low to moderate intake rates, right, so this method is also suited, right? So what are this advantage and disadvantage? So starting with this advantage, if the strips and the borders are properly designed, a good water application efficiency can be achieved and the labor requirement are less, right? If the surface drainage is poor, the method is ideal for rapid disposal of excess water. So, at the opposite, what are this disadvantage? Stream of relatively the large size is required to irrigate a strip of practical size. So, the cost of leveling is relatively high unless the topography is relatively smooth. So, it is difficult to apply the depth of water less than 0.5, right? Means 5 centimeter. Our next method is checks basing or check flooding, right? So it is the most common method of irrigation used in India as well as many countries in this world, right? So this method is also known as the method of irrigation by plots, right? So in this method, the land to be irrigated is divided into some small plots or check basins surrounded by checks or leaves, as shown in figure. Each plot or basin has a nearly level surface. So the size of leaves depends on the depth of water to be applied as well as stability of soil when it is wet. So water is conveyed to the land by a system channel as well as laterals. Water is admitted to this plot at a higher end and supply is cut off as soon as lower part of the plot has received this sufficient depth of water, right? Whenever the sufficient depth of water provided at the end of the plot, we stop this source of water which will be provided by some channels, right? So plots are preferred as square plots. Size of plots depends on mainly the porosity of the soil which have high porosity and filtration rate, the size of plot is small. For medium soils and for most crops, the area of plot is between 400 and 500 meter square. However, the area of plot may be as small as 1 meter square for growing vegetables and other intensive cultivation crops. On the other hand, it may be large as 10 is to 4 meter square, which is also 1 hectare for growing rice under wet conditions. Right, so it will be used in many conditions, right? Before and after the irrigated area, it will also be used in this growing some of this. Plots are used for growing vegetables, right? Otherwise it is also uh, growing this rice under this wet conditions, right? So this one this figure is shown, right? uh, a sixth one is a basin flooding. So in this method is also known as ring basin method. It is a specially form of check basin method of irrigation which is used for irrigation of orchids, right? In this method, for each tree, a separate basin is made, which is usually circular in shape, and because of the circular shape, it is also known as a ring basin method. However, in some cases, basin of large size are made to include two to five or more trees in one basin, right? As is shown in this figure, their opening or closed after irrigation. This center line is showing as a fill channels. This in this hills are provided in the center of this tree is here, right? And surrounded by this round basin, which is also called a ring basin. So water is supplied to the basin from the supply channel through the small fill channel connecting the basins with the supply channel. So in the most of the cases, basin is provided with the separate fill channels. Portable pipes and large hose pipes are also sometimes used instead of fill channels. The last one method is a zigzag method. So in zigzag method of irrigation is a special method of controlled flooding where water applied to the land takes circular route starting from field channel and reaching the end of the plot. So for this purpose, whole farm is divided into number of square or rectangular plots. So each plot provided with this leaves such that the water takes the circuitous path covering this entire plot. So at the end, it is mostly suitable for relatively level plots, right? So the method not suitable when the farming operations are to be done with modern farm machinery. Right, so here we end this lecture of this. So this in this lecture we studied that all surface irrigation method. Uh, Surface irrigation method. In this lecture we studied only flooding method, which is also divided into part, which is wild flooding and control flooding, and we also studied the different types of method of control flooding. Right. So if you have any confusion, let me know.